And talk matters ODM because ODM has refused to leave the front pages of our dailies since the beginning of this year. And we keep talking about ODM. They are the top story on the front page of the Daily Nation. Today, ODM decides. They held a meeting of the Central Management Committee yesterday in Kilifi, Vipingo Ridge. Curiously, two people were missing, and that was a Deputy Party Leader, Godfrey Otsotsi, and the Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna, which is very telling. And the statement that came out of that basically read that the ODM Central Management Committee has agreed to go into a pre-election pact with the UDA party. And the two who are missing, curiously, are the same people who are opposed to that thing. The party leader, ODM, now finds himself in a very awkward position, pushed into a corner. There are many fronts he has to consider. The family front, the Odinga family, the decisions they're making on that front. The Western Kenya axis as well, whether or not they may be able to retain that. As well as coastal leaders. They are the latest to come out and say they want to take over the leadership of the party. That's as recent as last week, and have Ali Hassan Joho as a leader of that party. All this is a very delicate balancing act for Oburu Oginga. Don't you think that this is a bit much, and these are clear lines that will definitely form cracks this year?
Yes, Fred, it's both. One, there are many parties. I think the Registrar of Political Parties today would give a record. We probably have more than 100 political parties. But why ODM? That's the question. So it's not entirely negative that people scrambling to want to be party leader of ODM. That, to me, should not just be looked at from a negative point of view alone. It also tells that ODM has something, because there are 100 parties, and some of them you don't even hear their names featuring anywhere. Even the press have no idea whether they should bring those parties into a debate or not. That tells about ODM and the beauty about democracy. So one. Number two, on the other side of things, yes, it could cause a few rifts here and there, but I think it was expected. Once somebody like Raila Odinga and his stature vacates the scene, political scene, we cannot deny or live in denial that there is never going to be any turmoil anywhere. It has to be. It's like a big stone thrown into the water. There is expectation that the water will splash and everybody around that will actually feel the effect of that stone. So this is something we expected. The only thing that makes no sense to me in all this is how all of a sudden everyone has an idea, an advice or two for ODM, including parties that we don't even know whether they exist. All of a sudden, they know how ODM should do, what ODM should not do to make ODM a national party, when those people are actually leading some parties that are in the village and have never imagined to do the same things they're advising ODM to do to make their parties really national. So you wonder what this is the effect of the loss of Baba. Baba, when you left, everybody has advice for ODM, including parties that were founded together with ODM in the same year, and has barely moved out of the territory where the party leader comes from. They are barely trying to get their foot out of that. All of a sudden, leaders from such parties have idea. But coming to the SG of ODM, I still remain. Nothing of the sort of the things you see is coincidental. I mean, it is never a coincidence that Honorable Sifuna decides to just miss his flight. For the first time, missing a Central Committee meeting, for the first time since he was
you can miss a flight.
I think you're being personal.
I am not being personal. I am saying in politics, 99% of the things we see are never coincidence.
But you're accusing him of contriving.
I am allowed to air my opinion as a member of the party. How is it a coincidence that in this very specific meeting, which has very big meaning, then you decide to, all of a sudden, things are like the way they are.
The deputy party leader was in South Africa. He sent an apology as well.
Yes.
Do you believe his apology?
I don't want to believe the things. I mean, in politics, Fred, you need to listen to what you are not told. more than what you are being told. Because even in these spaces, we say it is not true until it is denied. When it is not denied, even the press do not want to press. The only time the press want to push is when it is being denied every other time.
All right.
So,
Wakili, looking at the statement that came from that Central Management Committee meeting yesterday, it would look like it is more towards a leaning towards the UDA and a coalition with the UDA. And anyone who did not attend is those people who are openly opposed to that kind of coalition. Do you feel like the group that met in Kilifi are now appearing a little bit too desperate to align themselves with the UDA? Wouldn't the focus for the Central Management Committee of ODM be holding the party together first before making such a decision?
I agree. I wholly agree. Number one, why go to Kilifi? Why don't you come closer? I mean, like, why even expend that money? And yet you are deriving your kitty from the political party's fund. I mean, that's a misuse of public resources. I mean, unless ODM is telling us that they spent their own money from their own pocket to do that, which I doubt. And then why not have an NDC? Have the NDC resolve that we would like to have a coalition agreement. But, you know, well, if they say that the Central Committee of ODM is entitled to make such a decision, therefore it made that decision, I don't think it is a democratic decision to the extent that the larger, membership of ODM has been cut off from this. And I take exception to this idea of Honorable Sifuna. I'm not his spokesperson. Honorable Osoti, I'm not his spokesperson, failing to attend that meeting and therefore casting aspersions, standing and trying to attribute all manner of negativity to their absence. I think that is wrong because missing a flight, I have missed flights before, not of my own making, but because of some total inadvertence, or sometimes you find that the flight is overbooked. And somehow the queue was longer than you expected. I mean, like, you can miss a flight, especially with the traffic jam that we have today. So I think it is wrong. But the Central Committee, in my humble view, is just overblowing this UDA marriage, that sham marriage, I should add, with ODM. I mean, ODM and UDA is a sham marriage. But let's go back a little bit and see even much more telling of the power games that Ruto is playing. And he is by the sidelines of ODM, waiting for the fallout, because he realized that if, for instance, Honorable Sifuna and Honorable Authority, if they do decide with a faction of ODM to break away and say that, look, we're not going along with that, we will not go along with that, we cannot even afford to be seen to be siding with UDA, given the failed economic, pattern in progress of UDA, and therefore we would like to have and map our own trajectory. And therefore, that would create a fallout. What Honorable Gakuya is saying, the breakup into two. Mine is a little bit much more, should I say, speculative of beyond the two factions that would be there, which is why there is this basket that is being created by Ruto using Honorable Owalo. With all due respect to him, he first of all